Hi guys, and welcome to show number 2.
This week's show, a lot of information again that you can take away and implement immediately in your business.
Yeah, look, I just want to say a huge thanks to everyone that supported on our first show and sending the messages. And look, because we're quite new at this, I know you're sending messages soon, we can see the phone tick away alongside us, but just while we play the tape interviews, that's when we dive our phones and answer you. So as we get better, we're probably able to do this on the fly, but for now we're concentrating on pressing buttons, making sure tapes go in the right
place.
Right. Look, someone said, one of the messages, why did you decide to do this show? And I suppose as business consultants, it was giving a vehicle or some platform where business owners can all jump in together and learn off other business people.
And all the people that we interview are all experts, are all self-made millionaires, are very successful in their businesses. They work on their business, and just listening to them, you can take at least one thing, what I say, and implement in your business.
Yeah, and I just think it's a really good platform. It's really enjoyable, and the guys are really down to earth in everything that they do. Look, and it doesn't matter whether you're an advanced business, because we've obviously got some quite advanced people on here, or whether you're a startup. We've all been startups. We've all started from the beginning. I mean, that's why we made 1 Minute Millionaire course, was that 90-day program for startups.
Exactly. If I had all of this available when I started my business, I would have saved a lot of money in making so many mistakes. So
guys, don't forget to follow the channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. Look, this is we're trying to just build a community, so your support is really, really important to us. Now, last week we started off with Peter McLernon. He did his first part, and it was starting a business. So we thought we will press the button and listen to part 2 of Peter. Here we go. Business owner, what does that do for you in business?
Okay, it enables me to prioritise payments for a start. So I look down and say, oh, that one has to be paid today. Wages, for example, that's it. Superannuation comes in there. All your taxation payments come in there. Certain things, so you look at it and say, well, it's not really necessary to pay that today, but it has to be paid next week. So you might, if you're having a bit of a tight week, you cut it out and you drop it into next week. You see what I mean? So it's continuously live and updated. And that's enabled me to really closely manage. And then I'll meet with my bookkeeper every morning. He brings me up any CODs and payments that need to be made that, generally speaking, should already be estimated within the cash flow anyway, and we adjust the cash flow and then move on to the next day. So that's a morning ritual, basically.
And is this knowledge of the business so intimate in numbers, is that what is allowing you to expand and have such a comprehensive business?
Yeah, well, what it does is, it's not really from an expansion point of view. That really is just a tool for daily, weekly management, really, just cash management, what you're looking for. Obviously, you're forecasting your income forward, and you're really trying to estimate that pretty closely. So you can't exaggerate that because you're in trouble. If you don't meet those. So that's got to be a fairly good forecast. We can work out what our cost of goods is also, and that's in there because we know our margin is on average whatever it is. So we can say, right, if we turn over 100,000, we expect our cost of goods to be about 60, broadly speaking, based on history. So we can estimate everything. It's all in there. End of month, what we expect end of month to be. If our turnover for the month has been this, we know our end of month bill is going to be that because the percentage is there. So you can estimate everything in there. It's just a management tool, a close management tool. I think everybody should be doing, every business owner, because they say that one of the biggest causes of business failure is cash management. It doesn't mean that. What it means is, I know, for example, that in our business being retail and selling to business, the big months, the big quarter is the last quarter because it's heading up to the end of the financial year. So I know, between April, May and June, my turnover and profitability might double. But I might have a quiet patch, October, November, December, Christmas and New Year, when everyone else is selling Christmas trees and Christmas presents. We're not selling anything. So I can manage my cash flow through that quiet period, knowing that coming up will be, if we get through here, then I'm going to have a good month. And I think there's probably very few people in WA that are really, have the luxury of not having to worry about the cash flow at the moment, because I think here we're right at the bottom and we're travelling along at the bottom. We've kind of reached a level. We've come right the way down, and hit a certain level, and we're travelling at that level. I can't see at the moment what might change that. What might pull us out of that, because we're part of the global community, and to me things don't look great globally, but we're okay at this level. So if there ever was to be a turnaround, we'd be doing fantastically well.
And for a business owner, when you've designed your model, how do you go around selecting suppliers? We talked about cabinet making shops as one example, and your decision to be a little bit different in that space.
Yeah, okay. Well, I used to be a manufacturer importer, so I had a 9,000 square metre warehouse in O'Connor, 6 metre high racking, and I carried about $2 million worth of stock down there. And what I did was, I owned a cabinet shop in China in partnership with a Chinese national. I had a partnership with an export agency in Hong Kong, and I had a cabinet shop here in Perth employing 6 cabinet makers. That was at the boom time for WA mining industry. We were selling millions of dollars a month, I had 5 branches in Perth. you need to have, at that stage, I had the capital to carry the stock and so on, and that was just servicing the WA market. But the model that I use now, and particularly I think the right model for expansion, is to use other people's products. So other people import and stock carry the stock, and we just draw it as we need it. So what we do now is we have try to have a couple of suppliers in each of the areas in which we operate. So those suppliers, you might say, compete with each other to supply us with their best quality product at the best price. Because, for example, we might have 5 office chair suppliers. Each one of them might have slightly different characteristics. For example, 4 of those will be importers, and the 5th one will be locally made, specialised chairs and so on. So, but they will compete with each other for quality, price, variety, and so on. So each of those will have chairs on our product selection centre floor, and they'll be competing with each other on our floor. Yep. So as we expand now, we're moving into the expansion phase. We don't have to set up a warehouse with $2 million worth of stock in Sydney. The suppliers we use in Perth are the same suppliers as we'll use in every other capital city in Perth. So we can set up a branch in Sydney for virtually just the cost of the signs, first 3 months rent, those kind of things. There's all the stock on the floor is on consignment, so we don't carry any stock at all. So it's very easy to expand the model. Yeah.
And does that not carrying stock, does that make you more agile to change with market trends?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're establishing product selection centres, 1 in each capital city, 2 in Sydney just because of the size of the economy there, but everywhere else it'll be 1 as it is in Perth. Once that national network, there's nothing like it at the moment. There are similar ones, but it's going to be completely unique as our concept is here, as I've run through it. So it'll be a unique concept, but we'll have a national distribution network. At that stage, we'll have suppliers knocking on the door. Can you sell our product? So what are the terms and what are the prices? And so we'll make selections here, which will then be distributed through our network Australia-wide. So we'll create even more competition between suppliers for price, quality, and to be displayed on our floors, basically. Yeah. Which will help business generally. Yeah.
The one thing I like about your model as well is this giving back attitude. You're actually creating a success centre in these models to help other businesses succeed. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, much like Homebase, where people go for advice on building products and so on, it's not just it's a display centre, but also an advice centre. And people go there to practice laying tools or whatever, tiles.
Yeah.
So, so much the same way, we want to be part of the business community, not just a retailer. So each of our product selection centres will have a boardroom like we have here. And we have what we call a business-based success club, where people that become part of that club obtain certain benefits, which might be discounts and business advice, seminars, that type of thing. So we're part of the business community. We're members of the Chambers of Commerce, for example. So we're members of the Fremantle Chamber of Commerce, the Western Suburbs Chamber of Commerce, the West Australian Chamber of Commerce, and so on, so that we're involved in the business community. Also, we're looking to, and we have in the past sponsored, say, Business of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year, Startup of the Year, that type of thing, because we're wanting to reward business excellence, really, and to contribute to the business community generally. Yeah. Part of that is to provide the best quality products, like I said, at value for money, and then great advice and community for business. So that's what we want to do. Yeah.
Someone looking maybe been in business for a few years and maybe starting now, how can they find more about your business success club and contact you and get some direction here?
Yeah. There's membership forms on our website, so www.businessbase.net.au, where people can join up, become members of the club. It's a developing situation. That membership is offered to current customers and so on, clients. So the best way is to go to our website and have a look there. Yeah.
Peter McLernon, thank you very much.
No worries, thank you.
Peter McLernon, well, he's been there, done that several times, and his business model now, what he was describing, is really unique. One of the things that struck me, and I thought this was something that, I'd love everyone's comments on this, when he talked about having to stand out, didn't matter whether you were miles away from your competitor or sometimes next door to your competitor, when he's saying you've got to differentiate yourself.
In one of our quotes, we said, just don't succeed, exceed. And I think that ties in very well with his message.
It certainly does. And I suppose that's the thing. People say, what makes you special? And quite often they come up with, well, it's good service, or I'm on time, or I'm cheap. But it has to be something that is unique. And I look at it, what is your customer looking for? And that's exactly, I think, what he did with his business. His customers are looking for a one-stop shop, and they're forming a business community. And that's kind of what he's created there. How do you go about, what strategy have you put in place to go about identifying how you are unique?
Let's listen to your clients. We all have these ideas when we start our own business in our head, and we play this movie in our head of how our business should look like. Yeah. And once we start, we realize something is not working. But once you go and ask your client, what do they want? Is it convenience? Is it pricing? Is it speciality? Then build your business around what your client wants.
Yeah, and I think you said something then, when you find what your client wants, it's a matter of telling them.
Exactly.